He's an 8-time Louisiana Association of Broadcasters Award winner. And he snapped a ball through his legs.
Wait, why does your name get to go first?
Shut up.
This is Scone T.
Boom, boom. Yo, what's happening? Welcome in back. Big time. Scone T. We are live at Rock Paper Taco this week. Hell yeah. Drinking on some tequila, little
Why do you get to open the
show? Because you were gone. You were on the phone gathering needed intel about the
trying to gather intel here.
Wednesday night news. I was laughing because when you were out, Matt, me and Musso caught the Kayshawn going to the NFL news about 10 minutes before the show starts, and now we get Walker transferring about 20 minutes before the show starts. I mean, the Wednesday night news cycle is undefeated, boys. I love being able to react first to things, and we are first here. So go ahead and like it and share it. Like it and share.
I wonder what's up with the Wednesday thing, if that's just
DVDs are delivered on Tuesday.
I think there is something, though, to the Wednesday news cycle. I feel like we do get a lot of breaking news on Wednesdays.
I know. I don't know what it is.
Welcome in. It's Scone and T. I'm Matt. He's tons of fun. We're reunited. Last week, we were not here.
Well, we were here, but the equipment was not here.
That's a fact. We physically, we were at Oliver Twist.
Yeah.
And the equipment went to New Orleans with Wyatt. I have no idea. No, that does not happen. That does not. That's a horrendous oversight to take the remote equipment with you an hour away.
Like, let ye who is out sin cast the first stone. I can't.
It's not about being without sin. I've been a remote tech many times in my career. I've never taken the gear to another city.
I think I did one worse. We were supposed to do a live show from the Zurich for a morning show. I got all the way there only to realize I had left the Comrex at home for an actual radio show.
Oh, what did you do?
I think we turned around and did it. I think actually how the timing worked out was like traffic was terrible or something, and I think basically I ended up realizing on the interstate, bunch of phone calls, turned around and got back like 10 minutes late. So I think we carried national for like 10 minutes, and then we did it in the studio. So we kind of, we put some lipstick on a pig, but all I'm saying is I get it why. It's all good, but who gives a fuck about that? We are here to talk LSU Citrus Bowl, baby.
No, we're not. We already did.
What?
We already did that.
That's the lead story.
No, it's not. We did that already.
I do want to give a shout out to Quad Wilson, though.
Actually, we didn't, because we didn't get to talk Citrus Bowl. Because we didn't do the show last week.
No, we literally did not.
Oh, my God. All right, so for those watching live, thank you. If you're on YouTube, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Facebook, please like the 104.5 ESPN page and share this post. We appreciate that greatly. If you're listening on demand, thank you. And subscribe up on your favorite podcast app. It is, as we're here, it's Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, and about 2.5 hours ago, the news broke that LSU freshman quarterback Walker Howard is entering the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And
which there were some, I don't want to say like heavy whispers, but I can't remember. Maybe it was you. I was talking to somebody here recently, and I was talking about how, we were talking about maybe Nuss transferring. And basically, it was said they're like, well, the one you might not actually need to watch out for is Walker. And
that was me. So that was the and the scuttle was that Walker came here willing to wait a year.
Yeah.
Like, he knew he was going to sit for a year. And he was good with that. Like, that was, I think that's pretty much been stated on there, and we all know it. Like, Jamie Howard, of course, had to play early in his career as Walker's dad.
He probably wanted him to sit for a year.
And yes, really understood the value of sit, watch, learn, grow, mature physically, all that stuff, and then give it a go. I think the real problem, though, is, and it's not just that he wouldn't be starting next year. So I know there's some people like, I'd rather Jaden leave. It's not even that. It's because you have Jaden and Nuss back, Walker would basically be running scout team.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said for, like, are you really improving or developing or getting better if you're throwing passes to walk-ons and just giving a look for the defense? And so I think that's kind of where he is and kind of where he's stuck a little bit. So,
yes, sir.
Wow, look at that.
What we got here? We got some churros, and what is this? Oh, a fajita chicken bowl. Let's ride, dude. Hell yes. Thank you, chef.
So that's why I think we had started hearing that Nussmeier wasn't really the flight risk. It was Walker. That was the one you had to be concerned with. And I think there was a lot of people who were understandably maybe hopeful that his love for LSU, and make no mistake, like Walker loves LSU.
Yeah.
He wanted to come to LSU. It's why he could have gone anywhere. He's here because he wanted to be a Tiger. But I think you get to a point where you got to make that decision. It's like it's a if I can say this, it's a shit or get off the pot decision, man. Like, you got to make up your mind. Are you going to stay and wait? Because realistically, if Nuss isn't leaving, then Nuss, if he stays and starts for 2 years, then Walker is 3 years removed from having an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right?
Which
so I think in his head, that's what he's thinking.
Which, again, the loser of that battle in the spring, which I wonder how heavily they will declare a winner. But, like, I still wouldn't be surprised if you do lose another quarterback. So, I mean, it's not ideal from that standpoint, but somebody kicked off the chat, Raymond did, by saying, well, this sucks. I'd rather lose Jaden Daniels than Howard. And I just
it's the wrong way to look at it.
Yeah, I just don't understand that. I think that, Walker Howard is potential. And he could be very good, but Jaden Daniels is very good. Garrett Nussmeier is on the edge of being very good. If this coaching staff, which we all think knows quarterback play, right? Like Brian Kelly's gotten great quarterback play with Mike Denbrock when they've ever been together.
Yes.
Like if we trust their evaluation, if they thought Walker was so good that even if he's like not as good now, that he could be better. Or here's the bottom line question. Who gives you the best chance to win the most games next year?
Bingo.
Like that is what it all comes down to.
Wow, I can't believe we agree.
And
new year, new us. Wow.
and
awesome.
And so in answering that,
and we're drinking Margs.
Cheers.
Total new year. This is a great Marg, by the way.
I do love it.
Do you have an orange slice?
It's
in
not
yours?
overly sweet, which
Yes.
is like perfect. I think I do have an orange slice.
I want to tell you a story about me and margaritas in a second.
Oh,
but go
okay.
ahead and finish your thought.
No, it's simply that. Who gives you the best chance to win the most games next year? Because Brian Kelly doesn't have time for a building year, especially after year one here, where he exceeded expectations, won the West. Oh, now all of a sudden he has an elite offensive line returning to what I imagine will be a very elite offensive line, great receiver weapons, a solid running back room. You need a quarterback to make that thing go. Yes. You've done an unreal job defensively on the transfer portal lately, shoring up your single biggest weakness at cornerback. Now it's probably like inside linebacker, but your defensive line. Like Matt, there will be many, many, many votes thrown LSU's way to win the West at SEC Media Days.
They should be the favorite.
Okay, that is the level.
They won't be because you'll have more Alabama media there, but they should be I will vote for LSU to win the West.
So that is, though, the level of expectation.
Yeah.
And Jaden Daniels and or Garrett Nussmeier, I believe, and I think the coach staff with their depth chart tells you that they think that those guys are the best path to accomplishing that goal. And then you worry about next year when you get to next year. Maybe Nuss is still there. Maybe get a transfer. The bottom line is, though, I no longer live in fear of what I did in the past with LSU, where it had been such a quarterback graveyard. Could you attract talent? Not only do you have like Joe Burrow to kind of fall back on, though, there's not a lot of connective tissue yet. So whatever. What you have is the resume of Denbrock and Kelly and the fact that they've recruited and developed elite quarterbacks throughout their tenure in coaching. And so, it sucks to lose Walker Howard, and he might do great somewhere else. Setting situation matters and everything. He has an open line depth chart. Maybe he proves us all wrong. He shows rapid improvement. He becomes great. That is what it is. You take it on the chin, maybe you're wrong. But the bottom line is that I have no fear about this staff with how they've recruited. They can get an elite quarterback. Like an elite prospect, I should say. I don't know if the quarterback will end up being elite necessarily, but they can add a 4 borderline 5-star quarterback every class. So I'm not overly concerned from that standpoint. And I get why Walker did it. Like you said, man, you got to find playing time. It's how you get everything you want. It's how you get NIL. It's how you get a chance to go to the league. It's fun. If you're him, he's watching all of his friends play as he's having to ride the bench again, and the path to the field looks very long indeed. So I get why Walker left, and I'm not overly concerned, though it does thin you out a bit especially if someone leaves after spring.
It stings a lot because he was highly sought after, and he's a legacy, and he's from Louisiana, and he's a guy we've all thought about what it's going to look like when he plays. And I mean, there's a lot of emotional connective tissue with the fan base as opposed to another player, Randall. I'm trying to think of another quarterback that's been here that's transferred, like a Chris Garrett, right? I mean, it's like you signed a quarterback because you need to sign a quarterback, and guys eventually leave, and it's not as big a deal, right? But it just, when a guy who you've watched for a long time and a lot of people had high hopes for leaves after 1 year,
it's a big narrative.
I get why it stings, but
it's a big narrative sting for sure.
But everything that you said, I certainly agree with respect to you play the guy that gives you the best chance to win the most games this year. Yeah. And undeniably, that's the guy that was your starting quarterback who's returning, who gets another year behind this line and with these receivers and these coaches. And it's like that.
Well, I think it's most likely Jaden Daniels, like 80%.
It's going to be Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, but we'll see how the
it's going to be Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. Look, again, you're gonna come back and you'll be like, I told you he's going to be Jaden Daniels. No, look, I think this coach staff has proven that it is, in technicality, an open competition. Again, I think Jaden's ahead in development, and so I think that he probably wins that battle. But we'll see.
Jaden Daniels is going to be your starting quarterback. So when Jaden Daniels is the starter, I agree with you. He gives you the best chance to win the most games, and you have a roster that you put together in a year where your rotating cross-divisional is Missouri. You have Auburn, Florida, Texas A&M all coming to Baton Rouge. Yes, you have to go to Alabama, but Bama replacing Bryce Young. Is it Milroe? Is it someone? We'll see who's starting a quarterback there. You have a chance now to win, and then beyond that, you worry about 2024 when you get to 2024. And just like USC just had the Heisman Trophy winner after year one who's a transfer, look around the fucking country, man. Like, everybody has transfer quarterbacks now. Like, you just go. Kentucky just upgraded with Devin Leary. Like, Will Levis was not good this year. Yeah. Devin Leary, I think, is a better college player than Will Levis.
Well, Devin Leary had a weird step back, but I feel
he got hurt.
Previous to the step back, though, like Devin Leary was looking like one of the premier quarterbacks in all of college
football. He threw for 3,500 yards last year, and he got hurt
last season.
No, this year he got hurt. 2021.
Oh, he was great. No, his stats from 20 and 21 are elite. Like, Devin Leary's numbers were excellent. It was, but even when he wasn't hurt this year, he didn't look like the same Devin Leary. Him and Van Dyke had shocking steps back in the ACC. But still, it's a huge win for Kentucky. Wasn't he the highest rated transfer on the market?
But the point remains, if after next year Jaden leaves and you need a quarterback, fucking go get a quarterback.
Yeah,
like there's gonna be 50 of them in the portal. Go get one if you need one, and then you'll have Ricky Collins. Conceivably, you're bringing in a Colin Hurley, who a lot of people are really high on for the 2024 class who's reclassified. Like, you're going to be fine there. It stings because it's Walker Howard. And I get that. Yeah. I'm not trying to minimize that, but I understand why, Walker's decision. I'll also say, because a lot of people are wondering where he's going to go. I think the first name that everybody throws out is going to be TCU, and I think Walker, he had an offer from TCU. I know he liked TCU a lot coming out of high school. And Jack Besh is there now.
Yeah, so, Jack Besh quote tweeted it with the eyeballs.
Yeah. Sonny Dykes is there, who's got Louisiana ties. All that makes a lot of sense. Max Duggan is going pro, right? So, I mean, there's an opening. A lot of that makes sense. I'll tell you that the thing that's most interesting, and so this news broke during AFR, and I had Musso pull up the clip. So, do you remember in Brian Kelly's post-game press conference at the Citrus Bowl when he talked about the quarterbacks? He said, I don't know if you remember this quote, but he said, 100%, I absolutely expect all three quarterbacks to be with us. I've had conversations with them to know where they are. Like, his word, he said, 100%, I absolutely expect all three to be with us. That was 9 days ago. Hey. So what changed in 9 days? That's where my brain immediately goes. Okay, well, like, what happened over 9 days to change this?
Tampering.
So, well,
I mean, I don't know what it's called, but I mean, people being like, hey,
But I don't think Walker is going to be lured by NIL.
It's not NIL. I'm talking about you want to play.
No,
you want to see the field. Come here. The path is open. Alabama doesn't have a quarterback.
I think Florida is the most obvious landing spot.
That would make sense.
So Anthony Richardson's going pro. Kitna obviously got kicked off the team. Right.
Yeah, did he ever?
I know. So they got Jack Miller, who was the Ohio State transfer who started the bowl game and wasn't very good. But then Jaden Rashada was the 5-star who Jaden Rashada committed to Miami, flipped to Florida, signed with Florida, and now is asking on the same day that Walker.
Wait. This morning when I was reading the story, it was still just he hadn't showed up. He has requested to be let out of his LOI, his letter of intent. So Jaden Rashada did not show up at Florida, the 5-star. Yeah. He's been asked out of his letter of intent. Now they have Graham Mertz. The Wisconsin transfer is in Gainesville. But if you're and where did Billy Napier come from? Now they have Andy Dalton.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Thank you. So but my point, I'm just to set the table. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, here's your bread, right? Yeah, here's your water that's going to get warm and you're not going to drink.
I smashed my water.
No, this isn't water. This is.
Oh, I know that's not water. That's the break-even bottle.
But
$5.
But the point is, Rashada wants out of his LOI. Billy Napier was in Lafayette, bro. Like, he was at ULL. He saw every flipping game that Walker Howard played in high school. Yeah. Like, Jamie and Billy know each other.
And they kind of need each other. Walker needs a team that needs him. He needs an elite quarterback. It does line up.
That, to me, I think, is the most obvious. And this isn't going to linger because Walker enters the portal now because he wants to go wherever he's going to go through spring football there.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So, the semester starts next week. Wherever you're going to go, you got to go. You got to go now.
So, when is the deadline? Is that also, when was the transfer portal window deadline?
The transfer portal window deadline is, I think, the 18th.
Okay, so that explains the timing there as well.
It's either the 18th or the 16th.
It was get off the pot time.
I keep getting confused. It does. It's 2 days apart with the transfer portal deadline and the NFL draft early entry deal.
Oh, wait, 247's reporting that Rashada's dad said that story isn't true.
We'll see.
For whatever that's worth.
So the 18th. So the 18th is the portal deadline. Okay. If you're going to be going through spring somewhere, you better be on campus and enrolled. And I would assume Florida and all these colleges, they start next week. So if you're Walker Howard and you're going to be at your new spot, you got to be at your new spot by next week. So I don't think this is going to linger. We're going to find out in pretty short order where he's going.
Okay, so we have a little dueling recruiting services here. On3 recruits tweeting about Jaden Rashada asking for the release from his letter of intent, and then Brandon Huffman of the national recruiting editor for 247 says, per Harlan Rashada, the father of Jaden Rashada, quote, Jaden has not filed a request for release from Florida.
Well, that is a on-the-record comment from the kid's dad. I'll believe that.
And that's a reputable
It's not to say he won't. It's not to say he won't. But it doesn't even matter. It's from the kid's dad.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is what I'm saying is you can trust her that he talked to the kid's dad.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's the national recruiter editor for 247.
Yeah. So, we'll see. That's the one that makes the most sense. I think Auburn makes a ton of sense as well. They've been super aggressive in the portal. They've been very aggressive with tampering and targeting people with NIL opportunities overtly. That's why Demario Tolan's at Auburn right now. I called that from a fucking mile away.
Wait. Why is Demario Tolan at Auburn?
Because Auburn's spending a shit ton of money and they're tampering with people. Their collective is
that makes sense because Demario Tolan flashed this year. That was a huge bummer.
Brian Kelly at his radio show before the Arkansas game point blank goes, I want you to remember the name Demario Tolan. They loved him. He was taking reps away from Greg Penn.
No, he was
the first line, but he passed weeks, and that's why Colby Fields left. He passed them all.
I know.
Dude had neck or back surgery in the offseason, and he's in there middle of the year, and he's taking race. He's the next guy in.
That makes sense now.
Better team. The coaches loved him. All that, it's obvious, man. Dude, Auburn came hard after Harold Perkins. Auburn came hard after Will Campbell, after Emory Jones. And
goddamn you, yellow one!
And look, they got Demario Tolan. They didn't get the other ones, but they got Tolan. So
fucking Hugh Freeze about to have a fucking telethon.
Bro, Auburn has $13 million raised by their collective.
Look, man,
LSU's got $2.
That's
$2
what
million.
I'm saying. I'm still scared of the Louisiana economy hamstringing us in the long run. I know all the counter arguments. We'll see over time.
Yeah. Okay, you want to hear my tequila story?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
So it's not just tequila or margaritas. Anything tart, when I drink, so like lemonade, this is the case as well. When I drink it, I have a reaction where my head sweats profusely. When I say my head sweats profusely, I mean it looks like it just came out of a swimming pool. Like when I had hair, and I would and you put your hand would be soaking fucking wet. So that's how I could always tell how good a margarita is by its level of tartness. Because if I can drink it and my head doesn't just explode with sweat, like it's a very good margarita. And
I don't see any. Yeah. No, a little warm. Okay, a little moist. Not too bad, though.
But I'm talking,
not too bad overall, though.
I'm talking like your hand would have looked like you just put it in that margarita glass. You'd have been like, it'd be like, what the? That's what it would have been like.
That I mean, that kind of fucking sucks because, well, maybe not because generally when you're drinking margaritas and tequila, you're at like the beach or the pool, so you can kind of get away with sweat. It doesn't quite matter as much. So it's not the worst thing to have. But
at a restaurant. Bro, you're at a Mexican restaurant, you order a margarita, and all of a sudden, like, that's why.
So, what if you got like, well, no, I don't want to give any free ads. Whatever. Yeah, that kind of sucks. But it's not
I'll tell you one, and I love this place, but I'll tell you one that I can't drink is Cane's lemonade. I love Cane's. I just can't drink the lemonade because, huh?
Shit, Todd Graves about
I love Todd.
Dude,
I love Todd. Everybody knows everybody loves Cane's, right? But it's just the lemonade.
If anybody sees a laser dot on Matt's chest,
it's just the lemonade.
Oh shit!
And people love their lemonade, but their lemonade just makes my head just go. I have a reaction, and I just sweat profusely.
I just imagine you like on a first date,
and
with some girl,
it's just my head.
Out, dude. Why are you sweating so bad?
It's just my head. It's neck up. It's like right here by my nose, like right here, my foot, the top of my head. It's bizarre. It's just all the sweat glands in my head. If I have something tart, boom, gone. Weird.
That is very odd. I don't have any of that. I don't have any alcohol-based reactions.
But it's not just alcohol. It's just any
It's
not tequila. It's a margarita with the mix. It's basically how tart is the mix. Is basically what it is.
I don't have anything like that, man. I mean, I guess sometimes I drank too much, I peed myself, but
no.
I don't think that's that.
Not at all.
Jackson Carter says, "Quote: We believe it's time. Go Tigers!" Over the crowd. I don't know what this is. So overall, though, Matt, you don't sound terribly concerned about the loss of Walker Howard.
I'm not concerned.
It hurts you from it hurts you from a roster management standpoint, and he may end up being very good. But I don't think it hurts you next year, which is ultimately where the focus is.
It doesn't hurt you next year. The thing that sucks is if he does end up going to an SEC school, then you have to play him. And it's not a unique thought or anything, but it's the same in recruiting when you get in these recruiting battles. And if you miss out on a recruit, it's always better when you miss out on. Like the example I always give is the late Joe McKnight. He was the best player in the country. He was in New Orleans at John Curtis. Everybody wanted him, and he goes to USC.
Yeah, you never had to suffer in his hands.
It sucked you didn't get him, but he went to Southern Cal. You never saw him. It's way worse when Landon Collins goes to Alabama, right? Like that's the one that sucks. Like Eddie Lacy, the guy you want.
Yeah.
I guess Eddie Lacy was a different story.
Who's the badass left tackle? Cam Robinson?
Cam Robinson's a better example. When it's the one you want and you don't get him. Dylan Moses. Like that's the one that sucks.
We have Van Lathan, our guy.
What
Shout out
Van
Lathan. $20 super chat saying, I don't care. Lamau. So
Lamau?
LMAO, laugh my ass off.
I know what you meant.
It's a little classic. It's a little classic internet talk there. Yeah, I don't really give a fuck either. I mean, I like Matt said, I think what is clouding a lot of our objective analysis.
We should just disagree just for the sake of the show.
Yeah, I know.
But disagreeing with each other.
But again, I think you did.
I like it way better when I curse at you and you're mad at me. And
I mean, here I am agreeing on it again. But I think what we did. I think you made a very good point in that.
Of course I did. What do you think I do?
Why the disconnect here? Like okay, here's the deal. Here are Jaden Daniels' fucking numbers. Like that's what's crazy about this. Jaden Daniels last year completed 68% of his passes for 2,900 yards, 17 touchdowns, 3 picks. He also rushed for 885 yards with 11 touchdowns. And if you took out the sack numbers, he'd average almost 8 yards a rush. So
is that good?
So right there, you have a quarterback that accounted for nearly 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns to just 4 turnovers with the fumble. And so it's like I understand the narrative of thinking that Walker Howard was his favorite son of Louisiana that was going to
my Nike app.
That was going to deliver you, right? That was going to be the next Joe Burrow, that next great pocket passer or whatever. But, like, can you sit there, in your heart of hearts, can you sit there and tell me that you think Walker Howard's going to account for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns next year? Like, next season. Can you think that? And so if you take the emotion and the narrative out of it, like here's the deal. It's like we talked about a few weeks ago. A national perspective would look at this and be like, well, what are you all upset about?
Yeah.
You had a freshman leave who's never played versus a guy who just won 10 games, the SEC West, and all the stats I just talked about. But we here locally know who Walker Howard is. Sorry. I hope he goes to Alabama and beats out Eli Holstein. And then Eli Holstein comes back to LSU to beat Walker Howard. Let's go.
Somebody did ask, Brad Wagner said, knowing if Walker wants to be a Tiger, can he go play elsewhere, get experience, come back to LSU when it's time with the transfer portal? So technically, technically no, because you only get one sort of get out of jail free card, right? You get one transfer where you don't have to sit out. Now, the exception would be when you graduate, you could transfer as a grad transfer and not have to sit out. So he just spent a year at LSU. If he goes, let's say, to Florida, Auburn, whatever, for 2 years, graduates after 3, he theoretically could come back. I don't know that I see that happening. Like, the ship has sailed. Like, it's over.
For Walker?
He came here with the idea.
Holstein could come.
Yeah. He came here with the idea that he was going to sit for a year and then have an opportunity to compete for the starting job. And now it's the guy that's a year older than him is staying put, and he has to make a decision. Like, do I potentially sit for 3 or 4 years, or do I go find a spot that's better for me right now? And he's going to go find the better spot from now. So it's just, he's making the decision he thinks best for him.
And then Peter asked about Jaden's yards.
Is that really Mike Denbrock?
Yeah, I think so, dude. It's not verified, but the follower count and the tweets would speak to it actually being Mike Denbrock, or at least, somebody running the account in Denbrock's name, obviously. What we're talking about here, shout out Jackson Carter. That's what that comment was that I read that I didn't understand. He's referencing a Mike Denbrock tweet from 51 minutes ago. Mike Denbrock, obviously the offensive coordinator. Walker Howard leaves, and Mike Denbrock, interesting timing, tweets, "We believe it's time, go Tigers," with a picture of the field rush after Alabama. So basically saying, hey, we moving on. He ain't sweating it.
Yeah.
Also, Peter in the chat says, what's his yards per attempt? Talking about Jaden Daniels. It's 7.5, and that has to get better. I don't think anybody is debating that. The point is, in Jaden Daniels, you have a quarterback that put up the 4,000 total yards and the 30 touchdowns, but also has very clear areas to focus on where he can improve. And he has, for the first time in his life, a competent staff and elite help weapons and time to help him achieve that improvement. I mean, he came in here raw. Look, and this jump is not going to happen. The Joe Burrow jump is not going to happen. But Joe Burrow came in, same thing timing-wise, and look at his year 1 to year 2. So, if you give me a quarterback that I know has this great foundation, and literally I have such a clear portion of the game that I need to focus on getting him better at, which is pushing the ball downfield, taking more advantage of the wide receiver group. Like I said, it's priority number 1, not wasting the wide receiver talent again. That's a guy who could explode. I mean, again, not 60 touchdowns or whatever, but that's a guy who could take a significant step forward. And when you look at what you did last year, that puts you into championship territory, potentially.
Ian Marchand on Facebook said the reason Walker left, or Daniel's staying another year, is the reason Walker left. So, again, no, that's not it. Walker leaving, I would say, is more about Nussmeier staying. If Nussmeier left and Walker was getting reps with the 1s and the 2s and competing, I think he'd still be here. But Walker, for another year running scout team, I don't think is appealing. So, in part, sure, if Jaden would have left, then everybody elevates, and that makes sense. He's competing for the job. But also, Nussmeier staying put is another reason for that. And, I think we keep agreeing on this, and it's if you're an LSU fan, I don't know how you can objectively think that you're better off with two unknowns at quarterback as opposed to the guy that started 40 games and did everything T-Bob just said. So you're better in 2023 with Jaden Daniels than you would have been with Walker Howard.
So the reason why people feel that way is twofold. The Jaden Daniels style of play is not what we are used to associating with elite quarterback play. Like when Garrett Nussmeier's in there, he hits the back foot and the ball is rocketing out of his hand. But he can't create on the ground like Daniels can, but that gets lost. Like look at this comment from Gulf South, $10 super chat. Jaden Daniels was 47th in total passing, 70th in passing yards per game, first in rushing after 40-plus starts. He's an average passer at best. The playoff QBs had more passing yards and less than half rush yards. He is average.
Thank you, Wiggins.
Wait, so
thank you, Wiggins.
Oh, yes, Wiggins.
Wiggins.
Right,
Wiggins. Thank you for the.
But no, did you hear that? So he's saying 47 in passing, 70 the pass yards per game, first in rushing after 40-plus starts. He's average passer at best. The playoff QBs had more passing yards and less than half the rush yards he's average. The problem is, I wasn't aware
that they played for playoff teams.
Well, but also even more so than that, I wasn't aware of football that we could just be like, oh, the rushing stats don't matter.
They don't matter.
I mean, he was third. He was third in the SEC with 11 rushing touchdowns, but that doesn't matter. He was a great red zone weapon where every time you got in the red zone, you were able to run that play where you basically fake the zone read, the tight end push to the outside, he can throw it, he can extend it, he can cut it up and score it. But that doesn't matter because in Gulf South's mind and in most people's mind, they want their quarterback to hit the back foot and get rid of it and be able to create, but ultimately they want to be that first. I don't know that Jaden will ever be that guy. He can be more of that guy, and he'll still be infinitely more dangerous than that guy with his legs. And I trust Denbrock and Kelly, who have always liked a mobile quarterback, to be able to maximize the wins that you can get out of him.
It's actually, I think I'm done. I'm going to be done. Yeah, I'm going to be done. I'm done. I'm done defending Jaden Daniels' resume to morons. I'm done with it. It's like if you at this point cannot acknowledge that he's a good quarterback, a winning quarterback, and gives you the best chance, there's nothing to discuss. It's not to say that Garrett won't in time be good, but you're also the people that consistently ignore how careless he is with the football. Literally every time he plays, he turns the ball over. And none of you mention that.
He threw more picks than Jaden did in, a tenth of the – actually, let's look that up.
But nobody ever – he threw 5, right? He threw 5.
No, but I'm saying I want to see the attempt difference for a ratio standpoint.
It's just whatever.
Okay, so
I'm done.
So what is, Matt?
I'm not going to sit here and argue that the grass is green. If you can't see the grass is green, you're a fucking idiot. And I have no time or tolerance. So get the fuck out of my life.
I'm not as closed off to Matt as I said. I think there would be very long odds on Garrett somehow passing Jaden up. Again, I don't think it's happening the way in that TCU beating Michigan probably wasn't or TCU beating Georgia wasn't happening. You play that game 100 times, TCU wins a handful, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's long odds, but anyway. So Garrett Nussmeier had 5 interceptions and 84 attempts. And then you had Jaden Daniels with 3 interceptions and 388 attempts. I mean, that's
And do you know what the morons are going to say?
Well,
it's because he wouldn't throw the ball downfield and he just tucks it around and you won 10 games, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. And this is
and he ran for 900 yards because you didn't have a dynamic running back. Your offensive line was a shit show for half the season. He had to be that guy for this team. And
if some people are going to be like, well, I mean, come on, this is Les Miles, and we don't want to throw so where you can maybe feel better that it's not going to be.
Threw for 3,000 yards.
Well, not only that, but one of the main points of Brian Kelly's criticism, during the year was, we want him to be a little more aggressive. We don't want him to be this conservative. So now give that staff a full offseason to teach him that lesson.
But I'm not saying that Jaden Daniels is a finished product, and I'm not saying.
Bro, how did Malik Neighbors end up with 1,000 yards? That's wild.
He had 75 receptions on the season.
No, I know, but that's a quiet 72 for 1,000. I did not know that could exist in college football, that you could catch that many balls hit 1,000 yards, and I didn't even know he was sniffing 1,000. I thought he was at like 600 going into that bowl game.
No, that I knew. It's kind of like TDP last year, had like 1,003 yards.
Yeah, I guess so.
And for half the season, it was kind of non-existent, but then he had the 300-yard game against Florida, and he was just churning out 100-yard games in the second half.
Neighbors is going to
He was the go-to
next year. He averaged 5 catches and 72 yards a game this year.
The most impressive part about the bowl game for Malik, too, is remember there was no – we didn't get to talk about this last week. There was no Kayshawn, no Jack Besh, no Jure. So Purdue – really could have just rotated all their coverage to Malik because everybody knew. I mean, you could watch LSU on film this year and know that he was Jaden's favorite target, like he was the guy.
Yeah.
And, like, there's no Kayshawn, no Jure, no Jack. Like, they knew they were throwing to him, and he still had the day he had. Like, he's awesome, man. He's going to blow up next year. He'll be a guy at the beginning of next year that you're seeing in, like, way too early mock first rounds, all that stuff. He's going to be that guy next year.
So here's what I was looking for on the interception rate, a better way to say it. Thank you, Greg Lamar.
Greg Lehman.
Oh, really?
No, I don't think it's Lehman.
You were saying Lehman.
Yes,
forever.
I just keep
that's the old bit.
Greg
That's right,
Lehman.
That's right, yeah. Nuss had a 6% interception rate. Jaden had a 0.77% interception rate. So you're talking about Nuss throwing it at 6 times, throwing picks at 6 times the rate of Jaden. Like, that's the hill he has to overcome.
So, and again, to finish the point, I don't know if I finished. I'm not saying that Jaden Daniels is a finished product and there's no room for improvement. What I'm saying is, objectively, he had a fantastic college football season, and you get back a veteran quarterback with room to improve and stack, like we've seen many times. That is your best option, and there's not an option that's even close. So, I'm done having this conversation with LSU fans who keep shitting on Jaden and trying to prop up.
We had to have it tonight, though. I mean, it has to be
fine. That's fine, but I'm done with the argument. I'm not even entertaining you anymore. Like, go fuck yourself. I'm not interested.
Shit, what's going on in the Pelicans game?
I don't know.
Hey, what's going on in the Pelicans game?
They don't have Bally here. I'll pull it up.
Oh,
they have it up?
Okay, Celtics are up by 6.
They do have it up.
Fucking Cliff Nelson. Hey, guys. Hey, chat. We got a guy who cheers for the Cowboys, the Yankees, and the Celtics. And the Rangers. Get the fuck out of here.
And the Rangers. And Alabama.
Oh, my God. Yeah, and Alabama. Exactly. No, he's an LSU boy. He's an LSU man. He's an LSU man. Fuck the Celtics. I don't even care if the Pelicans lose this game. Apparently, CJ has 22 at half, though.
But thanks for being here with us, those watching live. 3:58 live on YouTube, which is awesome. Please smash that like button and subscribe up to the channel. That's where OTB is, Handy Time, Hunt Palmer, AFR, Scone T, Whiskey and Wine. Like, all of our shows are all on Watch 104.5 ESPN. So please subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. We appreciate you as well. We're here at Rock Paper Taco. They're rolling out a new menu. Normally, our Scone T home is Oliver Twist, but our buddies that own Oliver Twist also own Rock Paper Taco. 2 locations in Baton Rouge.
Love Rock Paper Taco.
A campus location, and then where we are tonight on Perkins Road. Great selection of draft beer. Tons of tequilas, and they just rolled out the new menu again. What we're eating here is the this is the
chicken fajita plate.
Chicken fajita bowl.
So it's like a bowl, yeah. So no, if
beans,
you want like
avocado, chicken rice, tomatoes.
It's basically
awesome.
just like if you want
sweet potatoes,
a fajita bowl, but I guess you want to make it slightly healthier because you're not going to eat the tortillas with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would just get tortillas with it because I love the fajitas.
If I ever want a binge meal, I do one of 2 things.
Yeah?
I mean binge.
I know what my binge is.
Like,
I have a couple.
And I mean, like, I don't care about my health or my life. I'm just going to just gorge, right?
Yeah.
One is, and I know they're a sponsor, but one is Pluckers. Like, I will go get 15 wings. I'll get the waffle cheese fries, the El Guapo dip, and drink like 10 beers.
Yeah.
And have like a 15,000 calorie meal. That's one.
The Cheech and Chong sandwich is pretty good.
The Cheech and Chong is fantastic.
I once ate 2 monster Tender baskets hungover in college,
I'm not
and
the
it was
biggest.
insane.
I'm not the biggest like tender Like I like traditional like bone-in wings.
It was just a staple in college to be super hungover, and they delivered.
Yeah,
it was one of the only places that delivered, and so we get monster Tender baskets. WCA shout out.
The other is Mexican, when I can get like a big fatty burrito, margs, queso, bean dip.
Well, the problem is you eat like the equivalent of 30 tortillas and queso before you ever even get to the burrito.
But it doesn't even matter.
No, it doesn't.
And then when I'm done with the burrito, I keep sipping my margs and I keep eating more queso.
See, I'm with you on the margs.
And then I'm like, why do I have all that cheese in my belly?
And the queso, and I love burritos, but when I go to a Mexican place, dude, it's always give me a sizzling plate of surf and turf fajitas.
Okay, no, that's a different conversation.
I think a steak. No, what I'm saying, but that's what I get when I go to Mexican. I don't get the burrito.
But I don't always binge when I go to Mexican. Like there's times I'll do that.
I do every time.
I love.
If I'm going to get Mexican, I go.
See, I love fish tacos. I love carne asada.
I mean, I like.
I love surf and turf. There's a lot I like, but if I ever want just like a total binge meal,
if we're talking like top 5 bites of food that you can achieve in your life, I think like perfect crawfish and a crawfish boil with a piece of garlic, and then maybe you throw in a sausage afterwards is one of the best combinations ever. Just single bites. I'm talking about single bites. I don't even want to wash a beer in there. I just like the flavor. And then for fajitas, a perfectly constructed fajita where you have your tortilla, you put the beans down first as like a bonding agent, then you go rice, then I'll go a piece of steak, shrimp, onions.
Give me burrito over
guac,
fajita.
Sour cream, lettuce,
no,
pico,
definitely no sour cream.
And then a little bit of that butter sauce on top.
I don't do sour cream.
Boy, that's a motherfucking bite.
That was loud.
Sorry, there's a kid right there.
Yeah, that's Bo's kid. Yeah, he's like 7.
Bo probably cursed all the time at the skate park, but it's all good. Dude.
Yeah.
That shit was fire, dude.
Dude, you think I could wear these at the skate park?
Oh, are these Nike SBs?
No, these are Air Force Ones.
Oh,
I do have a couple of pair of SBs. What do you
Look
think?
At this. How many pairs of
15.
You bought 15 pairs of shoes?
What do you think? These are
these
are Air Force Ones that have
I like them a lot. I have my old man Hokas on.
Touch them. You see the cloth?
Ooh, that is fucking nice.
What, that little fabric on there?
What is that?
It's I don't know, it's some fabric.
Yeah.
Instead of like the.
No, that feels really nice.
I know. It's really good. I love them.
No, those are cool, man.
Those are my favorite pair.
I need to get a new pair of shoes. I wore a pair of. I wore a pair of white Blazers for like 2.5 years now. I've never been a big like shoe guy. I just wear the same pair forever.
Look who you're talking to.
I
mean,
yeah.
I've been a shoe guy for 2 weeks.
Okay, but you know what I do appreciate? You know what I do appreciate is I appreciate passionate, nerdy wormholes. I am someone who falls into them constantly. Like, I am someone who is currently, I'm deep in a Warhammer 40K lore hole for no reason right now.
I don't know what you just said.
You don't need to know what I said.
Okay.
The bottom line is I get it.
Got it.
Like, I get being introduced to a culture, being absolutely fascinated by it, and just getting completely addicted to it. And for me, it's always indeterminable amount of times, right? Yeah. Sometimes being into stuff for a couple weeks, sometimes 2 months, and sometimes stuff stays with me forever. Like chess, I thought chess was going to be a fad thing. I've now played chess every day for like over 2 years. Like I don't think that's going to ever leave me. So it's nice when you find a new passion that just stays with you forever.
So I don't know. Are sneakers a nerd culture thing?
No. What I'm saying is, sneakerheads are nerdy about sneakers.
Oh, okay.
Sneaker culture is not nerdy in and of itself. Well, it kind of is because it's passion. That's what I'm talking about. Like a true sneakerhead would go to something like a sneaker con or like some sort of drop at a store where if you show up early, you can get in line to get the shoes or whatever. Like. It's no different than like any sort of con. I love any con. It doesn't matter if it's like a traditionally nerdy thing or a fucking, I don't know, a landscaping convention. I just like when you have a bunch of people. Like, okay, like the big, what's the show that we always work over at Lamar Dixon? Why am I blanking right now? The big outdoor show.
Oh, the Louisiana Sportsman Show.
Yes. I'm not a sportsman.
Yeah,
okay. I love going with people when they want to bring me and everything, and that's fun.
Yeah.
But I'm not a sportsman myself. Dude, but I love watching everybody there nerd out about like the knives, the camo, the guns, everything. It's awesome, man.
I walk in there, I'm like, why am I here for 2 hours on my Sunday? Because we all have to go work. Like at Guarantee, we all have to go work the booth at some point during the weekend. And I'm like, I just dread. I'm like, I'm the last one to sign up. I'm like, please let every fucking spot be filled so I don't have to go. And like last year, I had to go on the Sunday. LSU was playing A&M in baseball, and so like I just sat there and watched the game for I'm like, why am I here? I hate the sportsman show. I mean, respect everybody, but like I don't give a damn about hunting and fishing and knives. There was some old boy working the fucking rattlesnake pit.
Yeah.
And he had like a wooden leg. He's like, I've been bit 37 times. I'm like, Bro, you have been like he literally had his leg amputated because he'd been bitten so many times by a fucking rattlesnake.
That's the old head though. That's who you want to talk to. That's like when you go to the comic shop.
I don't want to know that guy.
It's like when you go to the comic shop and there's a greasy old man who's been doing this for like 40 years, and he makes you feel a little uncomfortable, like you're an outsider when you walk in. Yeah, dude, that's the good shit.
I respect people that welcome new people. Like I'll tell you, but the other thing too is there's a lot of similarities with sneakers and whiskey, like the drops, the allocated stuff.
And you're nerdy about whiskey.
Yeah, the secondary market. But I'll tell you this, man. Like I'll never paid a secondary market price for a bottle of whiskey. I've never waited in line for anything. Like there's so much good stuff that's attainable that I don't need to do that. And I think I'm kind of the same. But do you have
to do that in this? Yeah, okay, that's it.
Like what's available, I'll buy if I like it. But I ain't going to wait in line. Bro, you know me well enough. I ain't going to wait in line for 2 hours for nothing. If it's not to save my kid's life, I ain't waiting in line for 2 hours for a goddamn thing. Nothing.
No, and then I mean, look, I think that makes so that's the other thing. You decide how deep you want to go in the hole as well, right? And it's fun. You decide how deep you want to go in the hole. No,
Did we just roll reverse?
No.
Did we just roll reverse?
Because the problem
That's what she said.
Because the problem here is most fellas aren't really deciding. You're doing the maximum. There's not many of us are out there like, you know what? I'm gonna leave a bit on the table. There's no need to go all the way in. I'm gonna leave a bit out there. No. Most of us are out here trying to find
different ways of stimulation,
leverage points. What if I hike my leg? Maybe you get on your side. Like, yeah, no. I mean, look, that would be the only difference I would say.
There are different ways of stimulation.
No doubt. I too have heard of the. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna.
The what? All right, we got 14 minutes. Let's do questions. Thanks for being here. We appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. And please come support Rock Paper Taco. It's a great place. The Marg's fantastic. This is the break-even bottle, which I love. Actually, tequila is my summer drink. Like, I don't drink. I love whiskey, but I don't drink whiskey in the summer. It's too fucking hot.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Even though, actually, I kind of do what I have on hand, which thanks to you now, I have some tequila as well. But I just have so much liquor. Actually, I kind of,
Did you kill it all already?
I'm 3 bottles through that first box. I only have 3 bottles left in that first box. Admittedly,
I gave you like 9 bottles of whiskey.
I know. Admittedly, I had like a functioning alcoholic best friend that came over Christmas who I love, and he's my brother forever, and I love him so much. And he did some damage as well. But no, I mean, it is gone. It's because I'm not used to having it on tap like that, essentially.
You feel like it's going to be gone.
And so then now that I have it every night, I'm like, okay, I want to paint some miniatures. I finally got the kids down. I'm going to throw in a book on tape in the ears, and I just pour myself like a full-ass glass.
But see, that's where, all right, so I would tell you, that's where maybe don't go like 4 ounces, man.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to keep going back to the bottle.
Get a Glencairn, go with a 2-finger pour, and sip that over like an hour. Like,
you can't do it.
You can. You have to pace yourself a little bit there. No. That's the thing. It's a beautiful way. A nightcap is a beautiful thing. You get yourself an ounce, 1 or 2 ounce pour.
A nightcap's a beautiful thing because it generally leads to a second nightcap, and then you feel even better.
That's how you end up blowing through 9 bottles of whiskey in like a week.
Exactly.
No, that's a bad thing. Let's see. Roy Lassane said, "Do you think Walker's going to TCU with Besh?"
Potentially, I guess.
I think that's on the table. I don't think that's the primary destination. I will tell you that I think, as best I can gather, Florida, Auburn, Bama, TCU. I would be surprised if it's not one of those 4, but I'm not sure TCU is the spot. I think Florida's probably the most obvious.
I want Bama just for the Eli Holstein.
That would be fun.
I mean, I want Bama just so him and Eli Holstein. Well, okay, so you'll know better than I do, but they both are the same high school, right? Walker beat Eli out. He had to transfer to Zachary, yes. I believe, right? And then so Walker ends up being the one that LSU goes hard after. They finally attain him. And then Eli goes to Bama. And at the time, I was talking about, it's funny, like, Eli's basically been forced to find his fortune elsewhere everywhere they've been. He forced him out of high school. I don't know if Eli wanted to go to LSU, but it works the narrative, right? He forces him out of LSU, and then now, what if he forces that man out of Alabama? That would be so fucking disrespectful. Hey, but Eli, I'll take you over here, bro. Come on, dude. Come on back to the boot, baby. Come on. You know Brian Kelly loves some people within Louisiana ties, dude. Come on back. I mean, one thing we haven't talked about is the cornerback transfers. But first, actually, here's a really good question from Eric Wilderotter says, in a vacuum, would you trade 1 year of Jaden Daniels for 3 more guaranteed years of Howard on the roster? So which one is more valuable, 1 year of Daniels or 3 more years of Howard? And I get where he's getting at with this, right? Because there is a world out here where Walker Howard is that guy, and even if he doesn't play next year, having him for the next 2 years could be more valuable.
What if he's not?
Yeah, exactly. It's the devil, so, a bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush.
Yeah, so exactly. So it's like what is more valuable to you? And I would tell you that I think that this coming season that LSU should be favored to win the West. I mean, look at
That's what I was saying. They feel like they have a potential championship team.
Look at the rest of the division. I don't think anybody's going to be worried about the Mississippi schools. Have you looked at Ole Miss's schedule, by the way?
I've just been looking at Georgia's schedule and getting infuriated.
Pull up Ole Miss's schedule real quick. Just do that while I talk.
All right.
I don't think anybody's going to be fearful of Ole Miss or Mississippi State. Arkansas is coming off a 6-6 season. Yes, KJ Jefferson's back, but that's tenuous. They're obviously the Arkansas frauds that I've been telling you they are. I don't know that anybody's a believer in Texas A&M as a legit challenger. They were 5-7. They lose 25 guys off their roster.
You even Bobby Petrino, you little bitch?
Right. I mean, this is my point. Actually, I think Bobby Petrino is a really good play caller.
That's what I'm saying. I think he makes him legitimately better.
I don't know that is Jimbo going to actually let him call plays? I don't know. You got Ole Miss's schedule?
Yes.
Okay. Go.
Okay.
Go.
Okay, so they are. They start with the Mercer Bears at home.
Yeah.
Then they're at Tulane.
At Ullman, week 2.
Which is
at Ullman, week 2.
Way weirder than it has any right to be. I don't know what Tulane's going to be next year, but you are talking about a team that just beat USC, finished top 10 in the country. Shout out Green Wave. Would have been a great 12-team playoff story as well, as they would have taken one of the major players off the board. That's how the 12-team playoffs tight. They wouldn't have ran the table, but they would have taken USC out.
Mercer at Ullman, week 2.
At home versus Georgia Tech.
Now it gets real.
And even Georgia Tech, whatever. So then at Alabama, home versus LSU, home versus Arkansas, which they got to win that. Then at Auburn, who you think with Hugh Freeze, they'll probably be better. Home versus Vanderbilt, nice win there. Home Texas A&M at Georgia.
At Georgia rotates on their schedule.
ULM and then at Mississippi State. So they got to go to Tuscaloosa, Athens, and Starkville. That's not ideal for them. And Ullman.
and a week 2 game at Ullman.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's rough.
That has 7-5 at best written all over it.
Matt, the on 3 and 2
by the way, the at Auburn, the Hugh Freeze dynamic going to Auburn?
No, I know. That's what I said. That's what I said. That's not easy. That's not easy.
You don't think Auburn's going to be Hugh Freeze going to have his team ready for that one? What?
Joe Rowe is saying, Matt, on 3 and 247 insiders are all saying TCU is pretty much done.
Okay.
And I don't want to read too much into Jack Besh's eyeball emoji tweet, but, doesn't feel like it happens by accident. We'll see. Okay, more questions. Ask Scone T. College football is year to year now. Who do you think was really bad this year but is poised for a bounce back this coming year? Auburn. I mean, right? Auburn was a bit of a joke this year, and I do feel like Hugh Freeze has done. I feel like Hugh Freeze is still a good football coach. With all the red flags and everything, the guy can still coach football. I think that's probably objectively true. They've done a good job in the transfer portal. Like Matt alluded to, they have a ton of resources they're committing. Auburn be poised to make a big turnaround. I mean, I don't believe in this team, but Miami should. There is no excuse for being that talented relative to your ACC peers and to be struggling the way they are. Same thing for Oklahoma. Oklahoma's 6-7 this year is a fucking joke. Go look at blue chip ratio. Like 1, 2, 3 is Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and then 4 and 5 are A&M and Oklahoma. Brent Venables and Jimbo Fisher should be fucking ashamed of themselves, especially Venables.
Yes.
He's playing in the Big 12. with teams that are significantly, multiple orders of magnitude less talented than them, and they put up a 6-7 record. It's pathetic.
I just looked at the YouTube chat and Call Me Larry said, "Hey Matt, everybody doubted them with all the laughing emojis."
You're talking about who?
Georgia. Did you?
Oh yeah.
Did you hear the guy?
Had a guy
There was a guy on the field, a Georgia player.
Is that
Musso?
Excuse me, how
Musso.
smart? If you're smart.
Musso. What was the guy's name from Georgia who said they were going to go 6-6?
That was
what was the Georgia guy's name?
Zion Logue.
Zion Logue, number 96.
Yeah.
Defensive lineman.
Yeah.
There's an interview with him on the field.
I saw it.
He goes, "Y'all thought we were going 6-6.
Yeah.
Y'all said we were going 5-7." Like, I'm sorry, sir. Who said that?
No, it's easy to see.
Bro.
Kirby Smart gets on the Twitter account. He gets on the Twitter account Message Board Geniuses, and he just reposted all of the hottest UGA message board takes all over the locker room. I mean, no, I can't remember who said this, so I hate to steal the joke, but somebody said, like, Kirby Smart is the Joseph Goebbels of college football. Goebbels? I don't know exactly how to say it, but, like, yeah, you know, like the World War II, the Nazi propaganda guy. Like, that's Kirby Smart. I don't know how he's selling them on this. I don't know how he's selling them on this idea.
Coach P?
I mean, so that's what's interesting, though. If you're calling him Goebbels.
I'm not. You did.
No. What I'm saying is then you're arguing that he was very effective, but you would argue that he's not very effective.
Well,
so
Kirby clearly brainwashed his team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely
Yes.
brainwashed his team.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that you had these dudes like talking about how disrespected nobody. I'm like, so we led the show yesterday, me and Musso. I was like, Musso, find everything you can find from the preseason hyping Georgia. And it's like clips from every fucking analyst, like they're the best, Natty, they'll win the SEC, they've taken over Alabama, their win total was 10.5, they were favored in every game. Like, so I was like, Musso, find everything you could find. Like, I mean, the preseason top five, number 3 for the top 5, like 5 consecutive years, which is the first time that's happened in their program history. Like, everything mapped to like respect to Georgia.
I don't know if this
is
true.
Somehow played the disrespect card.
But Bojack said, I don't know about y'all, but I bet Georgia 5-7. Not my best bet.
Of course
Bojack,
not.
you're the one. Bojack, you're the fucking one. He said Kirby. He also said Kirby had AI make fake news sources. No, Kirby hired.
Dude.
You know how they have the Russian troll farms and just sit there on Twitter and start shit all day with everybody? Kirby hired literal Russian troll farms to sit there and tweet at the players about how bad they were going to be every day.
You see?
Yeah, so it's like Joe.
I don't believe it.
It's like Joe 7689951 with the placeholder picture. It's like,
bro,
Stetson Bennett fucking sucks. And this defense, Jalen Carter is awful. You're all going 6-7.
How long can you play the nobody respects us card?
Actually, Gulf South is right though. Kirby did exactly what Michael Jordan did to himself. Like where, you know, Michael Jordan, that's the famous thing, right? Like, you can be like, sup? And he's like, what the fuck, motherfucker? Why didn't you say hi? Like, you know, like you could do anything and misconstrue it as disrespect.
Colin Hurley just 23 seconds ago tweeted the picture of the it's like a tweet, a side-by-side tweet, picture of rushing the field against Bama, and then his like commitment video. And he said, it'll be deja vu all over again. Worry not, Baton Rouge.
Oh, okay.
Bro, this dude.
Bro, these high school kids love popping
I don't know.
off. I love it.
Have you talked to him yet? Colin Hurley? It's okay. Like if you haven't.
No. My bad. No, I zoned out.
He is the closest thing as far as a high school athlete and his ability to hype, communicate. He's Russell Shepard all over again.
Russell
was the best ever.
Ultimate.
He was the best
locker
ever.
room glue guy. There's nobody like him. That's why he went on to be a special teams captain.
When he was being recruited, though,
nearly a 10-year NFL vet.
When he was being recruited, though, as a high school kid.
Oh, like getting other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a high school kid, I have never, and I've done this a long time, he is by a mile the best high school athlete I have ever talked to, ever.
Tweeting the same picture Denbrock tweeted
by a mile.
Who Russell was?
Russell, by a mile. Now, it didn't work out at quarterback at LSU, which the first day. Have I told you a story about like being there at practice the first day?
Yeah. No, you could clearly see that Russell couldn't throw.
It was like So the way that, for the benefit of the audience, the way they would do the drills is like you'd have all the quarterbacks side by side, right? So it was like, at the time, it was Jordan, Jarrett, Russell, and Chris Garrett. Because they came in the same class.
Yeah.
So there's 4 of them. And it was like they're running like a 10-yard out. And it's like Jarrett, boom. Jordan, boom. Chris Garrett, boom. Russell. I was like, oh, no. First time. Because everyone was so hyped. It was like 5-star, number 1 player in the country. Like your first opportunity to go get Leo, put eyes on him. And it was the first day. I was like, oh, no, that's never going to work. Like, no. We were sold a bill of goods. Moving the receiver today.
Yeah, no, it was, but no, I mean, look, he was a badass quarterback in high school because he was an incredible athlete, right? You know, I mean, it is what it is. Palermo Trapani says, I don't know about Auburn, but I know LSU was a wonderful 4-12 versus Nick Saban before this year. Kelly and JD got him in year number 1.
Okay.
And now you're 2-2 last 4. Okay, what did you just get a text on?
I don't think anything's done with the TCU stuff. Is not done. I'm not saying that's not going to happen. That's not a done thing.
Okay.
So I'm very confident in saying that. And that Florida is a very real player, I would say. Again, long way to go. We'll see. We'll see what happens over the next. I mean, we'll see if he takes visits or whatever. The case may be. He'll make it. He'll probably.
Gulf South says that's kind of how we feel about JD LMA. Are you Gulf South? That's intellectually dishonest.
You got to ignore fuck sticks like that.
No, I love Gulf South.
No, whatever. I get it. I get it. He comments and all this stuff. But that's the point. That's why you just ignore him because he's a fucking idiot when he does stuff like that. So just ignore him. Like don't give him the time of day.
Bojack says Colin Hurley's going to be doing TED Talks in the film room. I mean, maybe so too.
Okay.
Let's see.
Are we done?
Oh, we are. It's 8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock. Let's see. How many people still watching? 352. Hang on. Love y'all, man. That's awesome. Hey, by the way,
girls.
By the way,
a couple more likes. Let's hit 100 real quick. I just added my own. Let's hit 100.
Oh wait, I got it right here. Hang on. Boom.
All right. We need one more.
99.
One more.
Oh, there we're 100. Okay.
Love y'all.
Big shout out, Rock Paper Taco, man.
Yeah.
Great spot here. Looking forward to getting some dinner. Actually, that's good enough for me for dinner. But
yeah.
Marg was great.
I think I'm gonna get some tacos.
Tacos are really good. That sounds good.
Tacos do sound very good.
That churro
brings them home
really
for the family. So, yeah, that churro was fucking fire.
I want to eat one of those.
Actually, somebody asked us.
Is that whipped cream or is that ice cream?
I didn't dip it. I don't know.
Oh, why not?
I saw it too late. I was already half charged.
Yeah, if it was ice cream, if it was ice cream, it'd have melted. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be whipped. But somebody asked us on Off the Bench the other day, beignets or churros? Where do you fall?
Beignets.
Interesting. See, I actually think I know like. To pleasure the local audience, I should have said beignets, but I think I'm honestly churros. I don't love how dirty you get eating beignets.
Oh, give me a beignet, bro. Give me that powdered sugar, dog.
Yeah, but it's all over your pants, and it's like flour, and it's like glitter a little bit. There, it's like, how do you get rid of it? It's just too much of a commitment. I don't know. Like, give me a solid churro. I can dip in anything. It's got a delicious middle.